Hi guys, my name is Lolly. Welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead on this very beautiful but hot and muggy day. I feel a breeze right now that I am greatly appreciating. But I live on 2.5 acres and I'm surrounded on 3 sides by agricultural fields. And so I get the privilege of feeling like I live on more acreage than I do simply because I'm surrounded. And let me show you a quick shot of who lives across the street from me. So this morning I've been out here with my dogs and my cup of coffee and just taking in the scenery and looking at how the seasons are changing slowly right before my eyes. Every time I come out, it's just a little bit different. I want to share some beautiful footage with you as usual, as long as I can capture some of these moments while there's still things that are blooming and alive. I want to do that for you. But you guys, this time of the year is so symbolic of life. You've got things that are still blooming, while other things like this cornfield behind me are turning completely brown and almost ready for harvest. So today I have some chicken chores to do, and I thought it would be the perfect time to take you with me just to kind of show you my setup and how I did it, and maybe spawn some ideas for those of you who are thinking about getting chickens, or maybe you want more chickens and you're going to need some more nesting boxes. And I'm going to show you some of that footage in just a minute as I'm working my way back up to the chicken area. But I just wanted to let you know that today that's going to be my focus, my chicken nesting boxes. I want to talk about why they're important, what I've done to create some extras and the rationale behind it. And that way, if any of you guys want to try it, you can too. All right, so while I head back up to the chicken area, drink a couple sips of coffee along the way, you guys enjoy this beautiful footage, and I'll see you in just a minute. So you can see I've got a chicken in here inside, and I'm going to be changing these shavings out. So time to kind of wipe things down, change things out, but you can see how big it is, okay? There's definitely room for another chicken in there. It's just that they have the habit of only doing one at a time. Let me close it up. Okay, let's talk about why it's critical to have enough nesting boxes, okay? I'm gonna give you several reasons. There's probably more, but these are the ones that stand out to me as the most critical. Number one, chickens are always producing eggs at some stage inside their body. So even if they've laid an egg, they've already got another one that's producing. They need that room. If you don't have enough nesting boxes, they may hold it, okay? So if they're holding on to an egg inside and they've got more that are in the production line, that factory that's going on inside, that's gonna cause a blockage, okay? And they can actually get what's called egg bound. And that is a lethal condition. It can be for a chicken, okay? 24 to 48 hours, they can really take a turn for the worse. You've got to be able to get that egg out. So you really need to pay attention to the pattern. If your nesting boxes say that they hold, 3 to 5 chickens, but only 2 are going in at a time, just take that into consideration. Their laying patterns actually matter. That's critical information that you can use in your strategy when you're building an area to cater to the chickens that you have. Now, the other thing that I can think of is when chickens don't have a place to lay that they're comfortable in, or there's not enough, they may just start laying them around the yard or in different areas. And if you don't find them, something else will. So a lot of times snakes will start hanging around because they know there's a food source. And we definitely don't want snakes hanging around and eating the chicken eggs. They need to get picked up, that day. You don't want to leave them hanging out overnight and, the next couple days. The other thing is that if chickens are laying on the ground and just around different areas, they may start pecking at them. So if you can just create a few boxes like I did, whether it's like this or some other format, it doesn't matter. It just helps the chickens be able to have healthy egg laying patterns. All right, so what you see behind me are the nesting boxes that I created a few years back, and they've lasted this whole time. So they're not the most expensive, but they've been really practical. So they're gonna protect from elements like rain, from the snow, maybe there's a little shade in there from the sun, things like that. So that's helpful. But these are just the overflow boxes. If the chickens can't get over here for some reason because of snow, they still have some areas inside the run where they can lay. There's a coop in there. There's a couple coops that are actually covered. But overall, these work great. So not the most expensive, but really durable. All right, so these nesting boxes are just made out of plastic bins, and I actually have a nail inside them in the bottom to keep it secure to the table. These tables are really old. They were inside the barn area when I moved in, and I just use them because they're perfect. They're really sturdy. They've got wheels on the bottom where you can actually move it in the grass if you need to, but just in general, they're not going anywhere. They're very, very heavy. I created these ladders, one to go up to each table there, so the chickens don't have any problems getting up there. I mean, they could hop up there if they wanted to, but they use those ladders all the time. Now, I will say it's a little bit of a process. These plastic bins aren't quite the easiest to cut unless you know somebody that's really strong maybe. For these, a blow dryer was the key. So if you just heat them up with a blow dryer, get the plastic really hot, and then use a really sharp knife, you can actually cut these holes in them. So they're perfect for the chickens. And like I said, they offer some shelter. Okay, let's take a little bit of a closer look inside these nesting boxes. All right, so the first part of this process was just to draw a square to give you an idea of where you want to cut the hole, how big it needs to be, just to make sure the chickens can get in comfortably, and then use that blow dryer to really heat up that plastic and cut. Now, it's not going to work to where if you heat it once with a blow dryer, you're just going to be able to whip right through that. You're going to have to heat a section at a time, cut it with a knife, and when it starts getting hard again, grab that blow dryer and heat it again. Okay, so a little bit of a process, but like I said, I've had this for years. I have 8 of them, and they all get used. All right, so now it's time for me to get started. Fill these all back up with pine shavings so the girls can get back to their laying in the boxes. All right, they are ready to go, and we are back in business. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video and got at least a couple tips about nesting boxes, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.